Assalamu alaikum, brothers, sisters and friends. Today I will go through a key argument for God's existence. The argument is called the Kalam cosmological argument. Firstly, I will state the argument and then go through some basic contentions that skeptics can actually make. Now, the argument goes, whatever begins to exist has a cause. 2. The universe began to exist. Therefore, the universe has a cause. Now, the law of cause and effect is something we know by intuition. Your TV in front of you, it didn't always exist. It began to exist. Since it began to exist, you will naturally believe it has a cause, and the cause of the TV is the manufacturer. Likewise, you began to exist. You didn't exist 100 years ago. Since you began to exist, your cause are your parents. You are the effect of your parents. So the cause and effect, the fact that whatever begins to exist is something which is constantly verified in our experience and never falsified. So that's the very first premise, that whatever begins to exist has a cause. 2. The universe began to exist. Now we know from cosmology that the universe began to exist in the standard Big Bang model. Now, according to that model, time, space, and matter, everything began 13.7 billion years ago. And is something which most physicists and cosmologists agree to, that this model is the chosen model of the universe. Now, on this cause, if we do a conceptual analysis, we will get to some attributes which are the basic attributes of God in most monotheistic religions. Now, firstly, the cause leads us to a first cause, which is uncaused. Now, say you want to move your sofa at home. You've got a really heavy sofa. You need 2 people to move that sofa. So you go to your neighbor, you knock on his door and you say, "Can you please help me move the sofa?" The neighbor says, "Sure, I'll help you, only if my neighbor across the street helps me." And that neighbor says, "Sure, I'll help you, only if my neighbor in another part of the city helps me." And that neighbor, you go to him and he says, "Only if someone in Japan helps me," or whatever. If this goes on forever, will your sofa ever move? If everyone kept making the condition, "I will only help if someone else helps," and this goes on forever, will your sofa ever move? Logically, it could never move. The only way it can move is if someone said, "Yes, I'll help," but they wouldn't put a condition on it. They were the first cause, and that would create the effect, which is the universe, not the universe, the sofa moving. Likewise, there is a cause to the universe. What is the cause of that cause? Another cause. What's the cause of that cause? Another cause. What's the cause of that cause? Another cause. If this went on forever, the universe would not exist. But the universe does exist. The very fact that it exists is proof that there is a first cause, which is uncaused. So that's the very first characteristic that we get. There is a first cause, which is uncaused. Secondly, the cause must be timeless. The reason it must be timeless is because time began at the Big Bang. Thirdly, the cause must be spaceless. Now, space, to define space, it's forward, back, left, right, up, down, the 6 directions. Space began at the Big Bang. So the cause must be uncaused, timeless, spaceless, also must be immaterial, because without time and space you cannot have matter. And these are the basic characteristics of God in most monotheistic religions. So that's how simple the argument is. Now I'm going to go through some basic contentions. One of the first contentions that a skeptic can make, and this is actually quite frequent when you explain to people this argument, is, well, who caused God then? Who created God? But the problem here is they haven't understood the argument properly. It's whatever begins to exist has a cause. That is the actual first premise. So, and what we actually did is, once we came to the conclusion that the universe has a cause, we logically deduced the cause has to be uncaused. And then we logically deduced a few other attributes. And then we said this makes sense, that this is actually God. So someone who says that contention, who created God, hasn't really understood the argument. Imagine you heard a loud bang, you heard a loud thud, and you naturally ask, where did that come from? and someone said to you, nothing, just happened, nothing. And you say, what caused it? No, no, it just happened. You wouldn't accept that. So you wouldn't accept that in life. Why would you not accept that for the universe? So inshallah, in a couple of minutes, what I have given you is a simple argument for God's existence. I hope you share it with your friends. I thank you for listening. Jazakallah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.